We're here to help you get the information you need to make a one-time, very singular, highly important decision. Look, an MBA can be transformational. It can improve your earnings potential. It can improve and elevate and put your career on a different trajectory. And it can do a lot of things, not just for you individually, but for the organization in which you work and the community and the civic organizations that you support. So I'm going to really encourage you and challenge you to ask the kinds of questions that you really need to have the answers to. The tough questions that you could maybe not have looked up on the website, that you need to understand the answers to be able to make a well-informed choice. That's my hope for you this evening. And we have a great program for you, and I think you're going to get an opportunity to get to know who we are as an organization, our character, and what sets us apart.
Our classroom environments, and why I like them so much, are so positive, dynamic, energetic, incredibly interactive. What makes our program, I think, a little bit different, and why I like what I do so much here at the school, is that we take that content and we don't deliver it in the traditional way. We apply it. We ask you to apply it to real-life business situations through case study, through really sophisticated and very interesting business simulations, and a variety of other methods. And by doing that, you don't just learn the concepts. You don't just learn stuff. But by applying it, you get a glimpse at how you might be able to actually use it on the job. You get a much broader perspective of the enterprise overall, how to interact with other people in different functions, how to have a presence with upper management when things outside of your functional area are discussed. Our program depends on you, your diversity in terms of age and gender and background and function and industry, and your experience, the experiences you've all had as business people and as business managers. That all together makes our classrooms so rich in content and impact.
I worked at Quaker Oats as a brand person, and there was two reasons why someone became a brand manager, which is like running a little business like Captain Crunch or Gatorade like that within the company. Some of the marketing people did it because they loved the idea of running their own business on somebody else's dime, learning how to become a general manager, learning how to run a business. There was another group of people who, and that was my case, who loved marketing because of the consumer insights and the creativity. Well, guess what? If you don't say anything, your bosses, even if you're very successful, may take you down the wrong path. And so really, you want to communicate what you want so others can help you get there and so that you can take the actions you need to get to where you want to go. But until you can articulate it clearly for yourself, how do you expect anybody else to know what you want in your career? So defining your ideal career. One of the things to think about is I want you to think of yourself not as a position, right? Not as finance manager, not as data analyst, not as senior scientist, not as vice president of customer service, whatever your position may be. I want you to think of yourself as a set of skills. And how are you going to leverage those set of skills? So one of the easy ways to start thinking about it is, what are you the go-to person for, right? In the 90s, when Michael Jordan was around, and there were 5 seconds left on the clock, he's the go-to guy to make that last-minute shot. We're all go-to people, but it's not necessarily defined by our position. It's defined by our friends and our family and our coworkers who say, wow, you should go talk to Jim because Jim's a great problem solver. You should talk to Mary because she's a great negotiator. You should go talk to Tim because he's a great problem solver. So all of you are go-to people. I really want you to think about what you could be, quote unquote, the best in the world at. I want you to say, I've got this set of skills, and that's transferable to a lot of different places. Here's where I want to go, and I'm going to start to take the steps along the way to get there.
So do you think in terms of strategy under uncertainty, do you think that the rollout of the new healthcare laws that we have and trying to figure out where that's going to go, is there some degree of uncertainty related to that?
There's
where
enormous,
markets are going to play, right?
There's no way to quantify those markets. Okay. To say, I'm going to, I've got 50 million people who have asthma, I've got 10 million people who've got cancer, and be able to segment that market to a point and provide the right level of service to those people. How do you do that?
So rather than being linear, to know that the healthcare is going to work in an optimal situation in terms of everything aligning, the doctors, the exchanges, etc., there's probably some degree of risk and uncertainty with the markets forming and those services happening, right?
That one's a level 4.
Yeah, right. In terms of it's not necessarily linear, but there could be true ambiguity or at least some degree of uncertainty around the future of where that's going to go and where it's going to shake out for both the patients, the healthcare organizations, etc. Right? So, Sean, for you, in dealing with your international business schedule that you do and the markets that your company deals with, is there any uncertainty for those services that you offer to those markets?
One of the biggest things that are going on right now is the emerging markets within the Asia world and things that are happening in India. So as you know, they've come out and tried to say, hey, we're going to offer this brand new product in this country. There's a lot of analysis that goes on to try to figure out the futures of what could be possible. And our competitors are right there with us.
Not everything is linear. When you think about risks, you have to think about risks in the context of the market and the stuff going on. So it's just, again, it's not just about you, it's about the market, it's about those forces in play.
What was the moment when you cross over from thinking about getting an MBA to actually making it happen?
Well, being in sales, I looked at the executives at my company, and they all had their MBA. So I figured that if I wanted to be in an executive role, that I needed to go back to school and get my MBA. I also saw that my career would hit a ceiling at a certain point, and if I were to go back to school and obtain an MBA, that ceiling would grow even higher.
Well, I'd been a program manager for about 18 years. So I was at Motorola at the time, and in 2006, 2007, we could tell that there were a lot of transitions going on, and I kind of had the idea that I might be in the marketplace again. So I went to several preview days, and what I liked about here, what really tipped it for me, was that the professors are working in the fields they're teaching, because I needed to be able to apply it really quickly. As it turned out, I did get laid off in my last semester right before I graduated, but I felt a lot more prepared at that point.
Has the program helped your career, right? Not the letters MBA, but actually the knowledge you're getting out of the program?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, before I was kind of customer service, sales support, and now I've kind of transitioned into more of a human resource staffing role, which is kind of what I wanted to do. And I think that being able to point to like that change management certificate, the organizational behavior, I think that those were kind of things that I could point to in my interview and say, you know, hey, I'm working towards this. This is really what I want to do.
What was your favorite class?
My favorite class so far would be effective leadership. It helped me to motivate some of the employees at my organization, you know, to work harder for me, you know, to take a stronger look at my accounts. And it also gave a look at what makes successful organizations and the leaders behind them. We looked at Amazon and Jeff Bezos and what he did to bring Amazon to that next level and where they are at right now. And Amazon happened to be one of my largest accounts. And when I went into the sales meetings with Amazon, I was able to help grow the account and really connect with them to bring about more sales.
So the question is, why did you choose this program?
I chose Lake Forest mainly because, again, the instructors were actually working in the field, that the age range of the students meant that they were all pretty much professionals like me. Some of the other places kind of made it feel like it's your privilege to come here. You should be grateful if you get in here. It's like, I'm not really into the whole, you know, I should feel grateful that you actually took my money. I'm here to get an education, so I felt like Lake Forest was focused on the students.
I really like the team environment of it compared to other schools where it's a competition amongst everyone. Here I found that, and you'll notice this in class, you're really working together with students. It's really a team environment where you're working together and you're helping one another out.
The thing to realize is it is a community of working professionals, right? So your fellow students kind of understand what you're going through, your professors understand what you're going through, but most importantly, you know, working with your fellow classmates, just like in the real world.